welcome to the World Karate Federation's Decades Best Series 2, Chapter 2, revisiting the Paris 2012 Senior World Championships. And today's program will focus on the male minus 60 kilogram between Douglas Brose of Brazil and Amir Mehdizadeh of Iran. And joining me today are two fantastic karate people. First of all, Fariba Madani from the United States. Fariba Madani, one of the senior WKF referees, and also two-time world champion and a member of the Athletes Commission from Brazil, Douglas Brose. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you. It's a great
Hi, Billy. Hi, thank you, Fariba. Hello.
Okay, now just before we get into the action, I'd like to ask Fariba, if I may. It takes many years and a lot of dedication to reach the dizzy heights that you've achieved now, Fariba, for the WKF. So, in your vast experience of more than 20 years, how has karate refereeing changed since 2012?
I would say a lot, and all for the fairness of the competition, for the fairness of the game, and mainly because of distribution of the power among the referee panel, well, 5 members of the referee panel, and to avoid any bias call or any favorism towards any nation or any particular athlete, and with the solo objective of just bring the fairness to the game, and which was a great change over the last few years.
And are there any, I mean, obviously the evolution of sport is always going to be there and bring about change to try and improve the sport and to get better results and fair play. So from your point of view, from an athlete's point of view, Douglas, is there any major changes during that period of rules that come to your mind that you can feel are either to the detriment or, more appropriately, to have improved the sport?
No, I personally like it a lot about the change of the rules. I think they help to be much more fair for athletes, and also to and if you check the old rules, sometimes all power is only in one hand of the referees, and now it's much more different. So I think it's much more fair for athletes. It's much more fair for also for the referees panel. And I think this can help you a lot to improve, and helping a lot to improve the sport.
Well, that's really good to hear from such a fantastic athlete as yourself, Douglas. Now, without further ado, let's get into that action and have a look at that performance from Douglas Brose and Amir Mehdizadeh back in 2012. So the layout was slightly different then. And of course we did have the 4-minute bouts back in 2012.
I can remember the atmosphere was very nice.
Yes, absolutely. Are there any specific changes in the refereeing from 2012 until now, Fariba, that stand out in your mind?
Oh, indeed. Just look at the time from 4 minutes. That's already down to 3 minutes, which I personally believe it was a great change, because now we are, of course, hoping for the athlete to get engaged into the game, to have more action, to initiate more exchange of technique. And of course, look at the referees' power, referees' judges. They would signal for torimasen, which is no points, or they would signal for penalty or warning, and they don't do that now, that because again, responsibility has been distributed among the panel.
Well, now you're absolutely right, because this 4-minute bout, and Douglas, you'll bear me out on this, as you know, 4 minutes was a long time, and this first minute of the bout, there was not a great deal of action, but there was a lot of thinking going on there, and passivity has been brought in since then, because of the inaction, if you like. So, what is your view about passivity, Douglas? And then I'd like to share that opportunity to ask the question also for Reba from a refereeing point of view.
Yeah. At that time there are no passivity rules, so and you know, 4 minutes is a lot of time. So we're using this first minute and minute and a half to try to check athletes in the study. But now I like this new rules with the passivity because there's much more action between athletes, and I think this is very good for athletes. This is very good for referees, and also this is very good for the public who like karate.
And Fariba, you concur with that view from Douglas?
Passivity, honestly, was created in order to encourage the athlete to get engaged into the fight from beginning of the match. And of course, I have to shout out to WKF Rule Commission, who came together in many different circumstances and did some changes to that. But unfortunately, the athlete takes sometimes the rules in their own benefit, and that make our game or sport not as enthusiastic as we want it to be. So of course, passivity was created, but then it didn't work. But we introduced censure. It worked for a certain time, and then after that, we introduced the two new signals that we are using right now as far as Supite, in order, because end of the day, as an official, we don't want to disqualify any athlete because of passivity, because of lack of action. But if you force us to do so, then we have to see more action.
And Douglas, obviously as a fighter, you're thinking, well, there's a world title at stake here, and you need to plan because Amir Mehdizadeh is a fantastic fighter, and so are yourself. But you can't just simply engage because the public want it, because the referees want it. You've got to think, haven't you? How do you square that circle, as they say, from a fighter's perspective?
Yeah, it's very hard to manage this because we are in the world final, for example, not only in this match, but also in this match we are in the world final, so it's very hard to take the decision, and sometimes you lose a little bit of your confidence and you find good moments to attack, but you hesitate, so it's hard for athletes to engage more actions, especially in the final, but for sure, athletes should be prepared to be more engaged in the match and to have more action. But I should confess it's very difficult in the world final to make some attack or to make some action without thinking maybe 3 times or 5 times before to make one action. Yes. It's hard.
Can I just ask now? We've got the scores at 3-1, and you're in the lead, which is fantastic.
Yes.
Video review, that's come in since 2012. And in video review, what influence, Fariba, do you feel has had of the introduction of video review on the performance of the referee panel?
I believe it was a great support of the referee performance because, as you know, as an official, you're of course seeing the action, but you have to signal your flag for the one who scored first. But in a situation of simultaneous attack, simultaneous exchange of technique by 2 athletes, video review brought that opportunity, that advantage to other athletes also to take advantage of their ability of scoring, which the judges, the referees, were not able to do that.
Now, of course, Douglas, if video review had been in place back there in 2012, we're in the last 19 seconds. You've been exchanging techniques to and fro all the way through, and there are several techniques that could have scored, maybe didn't score. we see here now with just the last 10 seconds, it's getting very, very tight. As we go in there, there's going to be another quite strong blow to your face, and but you very sportingly just gesticulated there to the referee. No, it's not a problem. I'm absolutely fine. And as we come into the last 5 to 6 seconds, if this score is given, and you see the double Zuki went low and then he went high, and he's going to get this score, it brings the score to a 3-3. In your opinion, Douglas, if this score has not been given and video review was in place, do you think the outcome would have been different to this?
No, yes, for sure. See, if there are video review at that time, for sure, Amir will score this point because you can see was a clean point. But also, you can use the video review as a strategy to stop the match sometimes. So maybe these can broke the, because sometimes others are growing in the match. So maybe in this case, I can even use this card as a strategy point to stop him to fighting. And sometimes just to cool down him. It's a different way to see the video review. Not only to look the point, but also to use as a strategy to cool down the match. Maybe at that time they using, but we always learn with this. We always learn with the lose, and we always learn. We
do indeed. We've got both of you would be hopeful for the Olympics next year, no doubt. Fariba as a referee, you as an athlete, no question. There's going to be a lot of people backing you, hoping for you to get there. All referees will be trying their best. All potential athletes will be trying their best. How is it going for each of you? First of all, Fariba, from a refereeing perspective.
Well, Olympic is a highlight of our sports. It's a dream for any athlete, for any official to be the one who can go there and just be a part of historic movement of this. And how to get ready, I think, is nothing different than the way the athlete do it. The athlete practice, they compete, they learn, win or lose, doesn't matter. They go back, they get better. They come back to the competition and they do it again and again. We, as an official, we are not any less. We have to be on the top of our rules. We have to be knowledgeable of the rules. We have to go to the competition. We have to practice. We have to learn from our mistake. We have to get better and just make sure that we don't make or leave any room for any mistake in the Olympic. And my last hope for Olympic is that the athlete and the referee come together to make such an incredible event that prove it to the whole world that
I'm going to leave the last
to be an Olympic game.
Yeah, absolutely. The last word with Douglas. You managed to come back from that defeat, Douglas, and you became world champion again in 2014 for the second time. Absolutely wonderful. Yeah. And the fact, Douglas, my friend, for you to be prepared to comment on about that you actually lost, I think speaks volumes for your character. And just as we finish, if I could just recall a famous quote from Nelson Mandela when he said, "I never lose. I either win or I learn." And you certainly did, my friend. Became world champion for a second time. Thank you so much, both of you, for sharing your experiences and everybody for watching. And until next time, bye-bye.